Police Station, in person of CSP, that's the Chief Superintendent of Police, Mike Adekunle. By all means, that is not a small one. He's been in the police force for quite a while. And if you measure his rank, he belongs to the top hierarchy of the police. And for him to spare his time, in spite of the tight schedule he has, I think he deserves more clap than that. Seated to his left is another very senior officer. The Ipakodo Police Station is blessed with very intelligent and highly experienced police officers. We also have CSP Olajide in our midst. That is the madam in charge of traffic. Anything traffic offenses, that's the madam in charge. So this way, I think I will hand over the mic to Ingram Jones to complete it.
Good afternoon to everybody that's here today, particularly parents as well. It's very good to see so many parents in the house today because it's the parents that matter, supporting their child. Without the support of the parents, it's very difficult for the child to succeed in life. I know that firsthand. So I'm very delighted that you've come and supported today. So I haven't got much to say myself today. However, I do have Mr. Olajide. I'm sure a lot of the young people here remember Mr. Olajide. And of course you know Mr. Adekunle. Remember Mr. Adekunle? So today is twofold. First was about talking about cybercrime and cybersecurity, which a young man here said very well earlier. So what I would like to do now is to hand over to Mr. Olajide, and then after that we will do questions and answers, and then after that we will do registration for our players who are going to be playing in the softball league. Is that okay? Hello, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hello everyone. Just two very quick words from the overall view of the programme. As was mentioned, we had a big meeting in Abuja last week, where we presented the results of the programme so far to federal level, security and justice and other agencies who are very, very interested in the work you do at the real working level. So I want to thank you very much for your participation and initiatives. I also particularly want to thank the Nigerian police force because collaboration with them is absolutely essential. It's my second visit to this police station and I love the setup that you have. This facility slightly separate from the actual station, but with full collaboration and hosting by Nigerian police force, because part of the aim is to build up trust between community and police, which is there to serve them. And without our crime prevention partnership, leadership, nothing would happen also. So we really thank you for your volunteers and enthusiasm. I'm glad you were able to join us last week in Abuja, because when people at the federal level hear about what's going on, they become more interested. And as you heard, they want to see what happens on the working level. So thank you everyone for your enthusiasm. Please keep engaging with the programme, and I think you'll have a great day, interesting day. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the last contract list from previous interventions. It's good to see you, and for the new faces that we will get to engage this intervention, we're ready and we're getting set for a new set of curriculum. Well, we'll build up on what we have discussed about on self-confidence, on critical thinking, sense of purpose, social support network, and masculinity. And there are more topics that we have to treat between now and the end of this quarter. But much more is that we do not just want to teach and live. We look forward to your posterity. So God keeping us, and we want to see how you're going to apply this in the next couple of months, in the next 1 year, the next 2 years. And through cricket, through sports development, we want to see how well you'll be responsible citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, even within the country, and when your names are mentioned outside the shores of this particular country. There is much more to discuss about with personal hygiene, self-image, conflict resolution, CV writing, and one of the things that I was making a research with my team yesterday, and one of the things we want to help you understand is intellectual property. How well some of you, just the way you have these skits online, it's like intellectual property to them. How well you can think about an idea and position yourself better online, so you have the right image, not just for yourself, but for your family, for your community, and for the country at large, that you get to position yourself right on social media. So all of these and much more we will get to engage one day at a time, or a week at a time, until we see this transformation and we get to see, we shift from the serious and organized crime to serious and organized activities that we get to do that make us responsible citizens. At every form, at every cadre, we need systems and structures, and that's what we want to imbibe in everyone, that you understand the right systems and structure. And we know fully well that in a couple of years to come, we will not be the ones doing this, but you who have been influenced positively will be the one to come back to give to the community. And we look forward to that. So thank you to Ingram, thank you to Brighter Futures, to NEEM Foundation, to the CPPs, to the Nigerian Police Force for collaborating. And we look forward to working hand in hand. And cheers to a greener future and a brighter future. Thank you very much.
So at this point, I really want to make this as interactive as possible. I'd like the parents to ask questions of Mr. Olajide, mentoring in the classroom settings. So this is a great opportunity for you to get to know a little bit more about Mr. Olajide and what that he's been doing in the classroom, and also getting feedback from the parents how your children have been at home, and if you've noticed any differences. Okay, before that, because the DPL hasn't got much time, and we're really grateful for his time. Is there any questions you want to ask the DPL as parents? Any concerns or anything you'd just like to ask generally? We'd really appreciate it. I'll give you the microphone so you don't have to get up. Any questions from parents? Okay.
Let me start. I don't know about that area, but let me start by giving this recommendation to Ipakodo Police Station and Ikorodu. To be candid, without any iota of doubt, the issue of autism since last year really reduced. A lot of us in Ikorodu can bear witness, especially in my area. Once it's 7 o'clock, you have to stay indoors. So, good doctor, well done after that. I want to ask that is there anything like an online something where people can report such crime to the police? Then there's a particular site to report in my area. I saw this suspicion people and this that we can report such, and we still remain anonymous. Is there any site like that you can do that?
Thank you very much for that sensitive question. It has been said several times in that moment that every community member ought to have DPO's number and other senior officers. And at the same time, it is also the responsibility of public relations PCRC to assist. If you can't come directly to the police, any of the PCRC member within your vicinity can be asked or can be informed of any crime going on within your environment. But at the same time, you ought to have the DPO's number so that anything going on, any crime going on within your environment, You call him and you intimate him with the crime so that the matter will be nipped immediately at the head before it escalates to unbearable condition. Thank you very much.
To contact that they can take down, say if there's any issues or any concerns they have, or they want to talk to somebody, maybe they can take the telephone number down.
For the benefit of doubt, you can take my number and the number of the ETO. 080 349 395 48. I repeat again, 080 349 395 48. That's my opt number. 24/7, always on.
Hello, my numbers are 080 371 52511. Should I come again? 080 371 52511. The DTO.
Or send a message, and you must be explicit. That is, you must be direct to report whatever you want to report. No long story. Just report the address of where the crime is taking place so that they will take it from there.
Nothing perfect or concerning you. They are forcing you to join their gang because in the community, and you know all your friends are part of it. They want you to join them because pressure or lack of education, and they want you to see money, make yourself better. How about how you do it now?
What we are trying to say is that if somebody is under pressure, that he should be part of them, what to do. If you were here when I was talking about autism, I may mention that it's not a good society, and if somebody in peer group is trying to lure you into it, you first of all inform your parents. If you are, you are closer to your parents than any other person. By the time you tell your parents will know what to do. They will come directly to the police station and report to us. But if you still have the dog, if you still have the mind, you can come directly to the police station. And under confidentiality, don't tell people around, I'm going to tell police, I'm going to police station now. To tell people, by the time you will be endangering your life. And at the end of the day, you'll be thinking it was when you told police, now you are no more, you are more into trouble. Don't let anybody know. Even the best bet is to tell your parents. Your parents know what to do. And if you know you are good enough, just come direct. Don't tell them, even don't tell them that I will report you. By the time you are doing that, they may plan for you. Just let me be thinking of what to do. That should be your reply to them. Then you study the time they meet, the place they meet, and the group of people, wherever you know them up to their residential building, so that they can be rounded up just like that. Even you yourself can be among them by the time we are rounding them up. Then from there we screen, then we send them to appropriate place. Thank you.
My question is on cybercrime. So please, I would like to ask, is cybercrime the only crime? And is Yahoo the only cybercrime that we have? Because people mostly emphasize on Yahoo. Only the example they used to give us is of Yahoo.
Crime. In an advanced country, they call it wire crime. Anything that has to do with electronics, electronic crime is being known as Yahoo. You hear me? Not only these people picking people phone up and down and wiring their money. Some will go deeply even to a big organization where they will bank, central bank of some country, they they deal with them. Not only this one, they are very advanced. Some of them are very, very advanced. Also poppy, that one in US, you know how it's scattering the whole world with its wire crime.
To me, the severity of a crime of somebody doing nose or wiring. So when they get caught the first time, and then that process and how that works, so the young people have a better understanding of the consequences of getting involved in such behavior.
I think I may mention that we've sent many of them to jail. Those that are adolescents, we educate them, we counsel them, then we give them second thought. While anybody above 18, we send them to jail. Straight. And we have a special section in the Nigerian police at the hierarchy. That's a special fraud unit. They are there. They deal with all these cyber crimes. Even the embassies and high commissioners in Nigeria, they depend on them. If you go there with a fake passport visa, they refer them to that section. And they have a lot of gadgets to detect and to nip all these boys doing all this cyber crime.
So, I've heard within the community, you have to correct me if I'm wrong here, and please do correct me if I'm wrong. There are people that have said, well, if I get caught, they'll let me off. People have been let off before, the police will turn up a blind eye if you pay me some money. Talk to me about this, because it's something that is spoken about a lot. So if you can give me more information on that, that'd be really appreciated.
What is trying to say is that some of them are with money, and whenever they are caught, they like to bribe their way out. Everybody with his own integrity. We have what is called blood money. Like all this Yahoo Plus, who kills human being and you get him arrested and he's trying to bribe you, which means you yourself, you are involved in that blood money. You can never do anything good with that kind of money. So we don't spare them. We don't spare them. As far as I'm concerned in this police station, we don't spare them. And they know me. That's why when they see, they run away from me. I don't compromise that kind of a thing. There's no gainsaying. See somebody doing a bad thing that involves human being that can cause agony for fellow human being, then you are trying to compromise. It's bad. Which means your integrity is nothing. You don't fear about your integrity. So please, if you see any of them try to bribe you or try to control you with the money, just shun them. They are not good type to be associated with. Thank you.
Good day to you all and all members of Brighter Future program. Now my question is this, sorry, are we all familiar with? What about adolescents as in teenagers who go into dating sites that they formulate fake accounts just to chat with people from other countries just to get money, because this is rampant in our society. Apart from formulation of fake accounts just to hack into people's accounts or websites, can that also be accounted as cybercrime?
Is this anything doing with electronic fraud is cybercrime?
Okay,
and that's why they call them Yahoo. That Yahoo is from that Yahoo Plus. Yahoo is from there.
Okay, my other question is this. Apart from this cyber crimes, as we all know, mostly this cybercrime is a thing. Only the male gender are more familiar with it. While we have lesser people, lesser female who are attempting to it. There are other crimes going on in the society apart from cyber crimes. We have issues of rape. Are you with me? So now I want to ask, is there any platform that those children, as teenagers, as adolescents, some of them are scared of fear of the unknown, of stigmatization, is there any platform for these children as in females to come and, you know, report such cases apart from this cybercrime we are all familiar with?
Thank you very much. In every police station, we have women welfare gender section. If any sexual abuse or sexual harassment case being brought to the police station, we have trained personnel in that section. We don't just ask anybody to handle that case because they've undergone so many training about these sexual offenses. At the same time, if you go to the headquarters, we have them. If the case is beyond our reach here that we cannot handle, we have state CID at Panti and the state headquarters where we refer them to. If a case of rape is being established, well established, we normally send them to state CID, gender section. That's a sexual offenses section. And there they will get into the root from the day one to the last before the person is being charged to court. So that by the time he's being arraigned in court, there will be no any escaping route for him. So please, anytime, any minute, you see anything like that, just come down to police station. Every police station in Nigeria has a section dealing with sexual offenses. And the section is being headed by experts. They've gone on so many, both locally and internationally. They've gone on courses on this issue. Thank you very much.
And popularly said, in order to catch a thief, you have to think like a thief. So, you said what is your adolescents below 18? If they engage in cybercrime, let's say hacking, and you said you have to rehabilitate them. Rehabilitation is something that you, after telling them the consequences, that you have to give them a job or like a unit where they can be using to catch other hackers like them. Of course, if you just rehabilitate them and let them go, once you let them into it, it's still around the environment and they can go back into it.
In actual fact, it's very, very rare to see anybody below 17 doing this kind of a thing. But we've experienced one or two, and it was unaccomplished. He did not do it. We arrested him for conspiracy. They have masters, not him indirectly. But once he's underage, he can't be punished under criminal code or criminal act. And that's why we say we normally separate them to rehabilitate them and talk to them, and they have been yielding to. They normally follow the adults to commit this thing. Maybe they are, the other time we arrested some, say they are teaching them how to become Yahoo. And by the age, out of them, 2 of them were underage. And we separated them from those adults. The adults were taken to appropriate place, and by now I think they are still behind bar. While those underage, their parents, they even didn't aware, and we have to call them, told them what is happening. And when they heard this, they started crying, and we educated them, and I think they've turned another leaf. So that is it.
Some of the people here are below 18. Sir, I want you to explain the rehabilitation again. See that when they came, when they were caught, don't do it again, okay? If you do it next time when you are 18, we'll take you to Kiri. Or is there a little slight punishment attached to it? Because they hear that all they do is, okay, don't do cybercrime either. I'm below 17, I'm below 18. Anytime they caught, they just tell me, don't do it again. They keep going into it. So is there any line of little punishment? Or just like advise them, don't do it again?
You know, when they are arrested like that, and immediately they are being brought down to the station, the first and foremost, you have to screen them. You put them behind bar. It will be during interrogation you will be able to know who is adult and who is adolescent. And with that little hours they are behind bar, you see some of them crying like baby. They realize the value of what they have done, whereas the adult among them, they are hard, very hard. They don't bother what is happening. But those junior small ones, you see them crying. I don't know, he only asked me to go and bring he only asked me to call purpose for him. And that may be the level of their own involvement. And when we talk of rehabilitation, we have a rehabilitation center for the youth. One is at Owutu Road there. Many of these ones taking drugs, where they meet their parents, we get them, we bundle them, we drop them there. And they will be there for 2 years, 3 years, cutting grasses and learning how to do hard work. That's the level of our. If we know that we are hard won, you have been exposed to this bad thing, we refer you. We refer you to rehabilitation center to go and learn your lesson there. But those that we see that they maybe by mere mistake they involve, being the first timer, we ask them, this what you are trying to do is not the best. This is where you should go, this is what you should do. And you put it in writing, undertaking, that any time is being brought back on this particular issue, you'll be sent to jail. And their own jail is a rehabilitation center. Thank you.
If some of them get arrested and some do not get arrested, you know that you'll be trying to kill the person. The person is safe.
If you are involved and you are trying to dodge yourself from them, that's why the other time I said, don't make your intention known to them. If they said, come and join us, just tell them, you'll be thinking, you will give them reply back later. You want to think it very well before you join. Don't take them just like that. This is a bad thing, I'm not joining you. Because they know you've known their secret and you've known them. They may harm you. And that's why immediately you promise them that you will get back to them, just go and tell your parents this. And I know they may be your peer groups within the same community. You just go and tell your parents, so person, this is what they call me to come and do. Immediately your parent will know that the next thing is either to meet the CJ chairman or the ballet of that area or come down to police station. Underground, you don't announce that you are going to arrest them. If you do that, you put your life at risk.
And if they try to influence like reports, the person that reports is safe. That's not all of them that will get arrested.
That's why you have to do your spade work very well. You must know all of them, so that at the end of the day, all of them will be arrested. If you arrest half and leave the remaining one, but normally when they know we are looking for them, they will run away. They normally cross that lagoon to Aja and Ebadore side. For the next 3 or 6 months, they will not come back to it. When they knew that others are already behind bar somewhere, they don't come back, they run away.
You are being pressurized by your friends to come and join. The best thing is inform your parents, but don't make noise about it that I'm going to report you to the police. Once you do that, you have endangered your life. Whatever move you are going to make, let it be between you, God, and your parents. The secret out by yourself, not the police. So, as to your question that will the person be safe? Yes, the person will be safe in as much as these people do not know what you are planning for them. But the moment you let them know what you are planning, you are no longer safe in that area. Thank you.
Then a friend of mine forget his pen in my bag, and my dad beat hell out of me. You see, these days, all we have been saying since morning, I'm listening there. I know that we parents will cause a lot of it. In my working place, at times I will see a young teenage guy, 18 years old, doing years 350 to come and do the maintenance. I will look at him. It's as if those people that are older than you are not working, and you see their attitude towards the richness they are getting to deal that they don't go for it. You know that this one is either plus or other way around. But their parents will embrace it. I have a friend that is a pastor. His son is a Yahoo. He bought a mic, bought the equipment of church. You know, at times, the God save us in this country. Parents contribute a lot of it. Let's be sincere to ourselves. If I find, ask my children there, if I find anything that don't belong to them in their bag, they are in trouble. But that was the way I was brought up. But these days, you find out a child will left home, they will not come home a week, after 2 weeks, you come home, maybe with family. So please, we parents, we need to do a lot of work. We want this Nigeria to be better for all of us.
What we are just saying. Another problem we are having is societal influence and expectation. If 3 of you are living in an apartment or in a compound, a boy under 20 is spending money anyhow, bringing different type of cars down home. Other parents, instead of calling their own, that don't follow this bad step because the source of the income is unknown. What we hear from parents nowadays that can't you see so person see source of income of your child, you better call him to order and let the right thing be done. Instead of encouraging, you always say, no be human being be this one. See, can't you follow him and let his societal influence and expectation to be reduced? Please, thank you very much.
Parents are struggling with their child at home and they're obviously income. They can't keep control of their child. Can they call the police to intervene as well? Is that something the police can do? I certainly know in England there's been times where the police has intervened. Is that the same thing they should do? Child, or they have concerns with their child at home. Can the police get involved in this matter?
Yes, it's allowed. Themselves to the police station. If they see their child misbehaving or committing crime, they say, DPO, I don't want to spoil my family name. See, it's my son, I'm the father. Please, let Lord take his course on him. Many parents are doing it. Most especially all this one taking drugs up and down. They will bring them. It's allowed.
What did DPO say? Some years back, a father and a mother brought their son to me that the boy absconded from home for about 6 months. He shuttled between Oshodi and Sabo, and the boy was 16 years old as at that time when the parents got. The people on the street have been complaining about the activities of the boy. Even on the street, the few times he shows up at home. So the father now set up that this boy must be brought by all means to the station. But some people on the street were threatening their parents that, don't take him to station, though, he will grow worse, he will do this. But somebody said, the person I'm taking him to will definitely help. That was how they brought the boy to me. And that time, SARS was still here. Special Anti-Robbery Squad, they are still here. That is their building. With the boy and the parents, we all came there to see the SARS personnel. The SARS personnel, when they handled this boy, innocently, this boy did not know that he is in the midst of serious armed robbers. But when they started asking him, who are the people you stay with in Sabo, he mentioned, by the time he mentioned 3 names, SARS people know that these are the people they have been looking for. Through that boy, the SARS people told me, Chairman, just go, we need this boy to help us in our investigation. Do you know that through that boy, the SARS they went to as far as Ikorodu and to Dokuyo to arrest other members of that gang that terrorized people at Sabo. And they showed me the plasma telly and all other expensive household gadgets they recovered from their homes, and even guns from their homes. They brought everything here. Now to the boy, the SARS now said they will open a register for the boy. He will be coming here to sign every morning, and when he gets back home in the evening, he must call with his father's phone to say, I am back home. And that was what rehabilitated the boy. By a year after, he did his freedom. He was learning mechanic. He did his freedom, and I attended. If not for the intervention of the police represented by the SARS, what do you think the boy would have become?
No? Okay.
I think the absence of any intervention, I can take a break from the summit.
We really appreciate you see, it is not all the time that police use maximum force. Mere talking like this has an impact too, apart from using force to deal with some issues. And I hope that our DPO, being a good father and a good officer, very lenient but very firm, we will need to do more for this kind of events. When I'm sure that we will oblige us when you are called upon.
Basically on the mothers. Mothers that are here, you are welcome. I know many of our children that are here, their parents are not here. Meaning that even when the child goes back home, Mommy, I went to Ipakodo Police Station today. There was a NEEM Foundation program that came up. This and this is what they told us there. The mother will say, show me Latin Borue. Now today we don't hear this in Nigeria. We have some mothers like that. And that mother will immediately discourage that child. That is one of the problems we are having in our society today. Secondly, I don't want us to only board on male children. What about the female? Are they not committing crime? The prostitution our daughters are doing, is it not a crime? It's a crime. Because when you go out today to most of the bar and the what else? 11 years, juvenile, we call them juvenile. Standing with those that are a bit adult, waiting for those men that will come and pick them up. Is it not also a crime? It's also a crime. Because a child that started from 10 and 11 years to start knowing what manhood is, you don't expect that child to come back today and become a good woman in the society. Those are the women that we have outside. Even when they have the opportunity to marry, they will still be outside doing prostitution. And such mother cannot even impact any good thing to his or her child in a matrimonial home. Because when it is night, she either tell her husband that she's going for vigil, she's somewhere in the hotel. I was once the DTO in Pestac. And sometimes when we carry out raiding, it will be comprised of all the section. We discover that even when we arrested 10 men, we will get 20 women. And some of them will tell you their scenario that their mothers married, coming from Ikorodu to first start to prostitute. Coming from different areas, they come down there to prostitute. And they have daughter and sons that they have left at home. I'm coming and going for night vigil. Maybe when that mother now returns back, she will not even have the time to look at that her small daughter she has left at home. If that girl has been defined or not. Even some children will want to even have interaction with their mother. Mommy, I want to tell you something. Say, wait, I'm just coming from VG. She went from prostitution. At the end of the day, that child will keep quiet. And that baby will be hurt severally, but she will not have the opportunity for the mother to give her audience. So please, mother, we have much to do in what we are saying. In the society today, we cannot eradicate that cybercrime without me and you that are parents with those children at home. When you go to work and come back, be friendly to your child. Be able to ask her, Helen, Margaret, Timothy, what did they taught you in school today? That child will be able to have that close relationship with you and say, Mama, when I got to school today, one teacher called me somewhere and put hand inside my bum. I was once a HOD in JWC, that is about gender. And we have seen a series of things. Even a child of 2 years has been defined. Yes, unknowingly to the same mother who have carried our to go and sell in Enugu. But because when she came back and discovered that this child that I left was not the same child I found, that baby continued to cry. She tried to know, why are you crying? Why are you crying? On lifting the baby up, she saw that blood has started gushing out. Who did this to me? Who did this to me? She was able to ask the one that is grown up ahead of that baby. He said her brother so and so came to buy Ogi, and he did not meet Ogi. So teenager was crying. Then he took her up and pampered her away and just brought her back. That was where she now get to know that brother so and so was the one that did this thing to her daughter. She now ran to the police station for police to come and assist. So if you are not close to your children at home, it will be difficult for you to know the attitude of your child, either the female one or the male one. If something is even happening to them, one boy made comment here, and my DPO told him that try to go back and tell your parents, whenever you go to school, if your peer group has said, come and join something, and you know that you did not have the desire to join them, you may go home and tell some of the parents, they will say, oh, Chinedu, I'm too busy. Don't you see that I'm just coming just to look for what to feed you with? That boy will keep quiet. He will hit that thing that thing is supposed to reveal to his mother. He will just swallow it. Then by tomorrow, that child will go back to school, or he won't even reach school. When he leaves the house, as you drop that child thinking that you have dropped him at the gate of the school, he will run away and go back close to the house and hit himself, because you did not give he or she audience to tell you what is happening around him in the school. Please, parents, we have much to do in this situation. Not only by bringing these children here to come and hear. Some of them that are here, their parents are not here. Some even when they go back home, the parents say, what your family I've been looking for what you will eat. Don't bother me with your whole problem. That child will just swallow that pain. And before you know, the child will now start growing up. There are some of them that when they go for raising and bring them here, you will hear that Baba mi ò sí ilé, ìyá mi náà wọ́n wà papọ̀. My meaning that my daddy and mommy, they are not together. So I've been exposed in the morning that they will leave me and go away. So I have to search for what to eat. It is when I'm looking for what to eat that I met the other peer group. What about a situation like that? We cannot do it all. You have to assist us so that we do it and make it better for ourselves. So God will help us. The juvenile, we have seen cases where a child of 5 years, they will defy. In the compound, they will say, hospital. Some of them from the hospital, the doctor will call us and say, come to so and so hospital, have a patient here. On getting there, you discover that it's a child of 5 years that was defied. Where is the mother? Even with that, I don't have much time because police case doesn't finish early. But that woman will forget that thing that happened to that child can let that child by tomorrow to become a prostitute in one of the hotels there. Because already she has been get used to it earlier before her time. So please, we should help. Be friendly to your children, whether the female one or the male one. Make sure you are friendly. That little time that you come back home as a mother, try to know what happened to Chinedu and what happened to Chinenye, or what happened to Bola, Don't just leave it there when you call, you say it's all about food. It's not all about food because they are our future. We are praying that by tomorrow they will be better than us. But if we did not stand well, even while we are doing the prayer and we did not watch, which the Bible stated that we should watch, he didn't say pray alone. Meaning that you draw them closer, you will be able to get information from them. You will be able to friend them, make them as a friend. Not only that I may born you, a grow somewhere, God will help us to accomplish it.
That is really, because if it is from the police angle, I know how she will have presented it. She has said it and left it for you parents to deal with when you get to. But the core message here is, be closer to your children. Listen more to your children. Don't ignore anything they want to tell you.
I just want to take your participation to use this platform just to give this advice. And they say that it takes two to tango. Most of these corrective measures are being done in school. For it to be effective, we've had the law today. We've been told the law today. The parent cooperation cannot be overemphasized. When you play your own role as the parents, the school played their own role, the government played their own role, definitely we get a positive result. One of the problems I find that we are facing now is this issue of, should I say modernization, or what should I call it? The parent will be like, don't beat my child. Don't discipline my child. See where it has brought us now. I have to be telling children to stand up for the elders to sit down. Sir, man, do your own time out. I know you, before your mom calls you, you have. I even told some of them the way they looked at me. Charity begins at home. The police are doing their own part. BRF, better which are doing their own part. School are doing their own part. I know some of us are trying, but we can do more. Let's teach them. And for this cybercrime, man, let our children know our words. Let them know what we can afford. Don't promise them what you can give them. My children will ask me for something. See, for now, I can't afford it. Make do of what I have. So let them start to learn how to be contented with whatever you have and what you give them. I know with that, you have a better society. Thank you, CPP. Thank you, Drive Online. Thank you, better people.
Any question for my BTO? Any question for her?
Good morning. I don't have one question to answer. What I would say is I'm really touched with this message. Why? Because as a father, really, that's exactly what I follow my children up. Whenever I want to, they want to discuss anything with me, they come, even if I'm tired, I'm back for work. I will just say, come, tell me what you want to tell me. So I'm really, really touched with this message. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Any other questions? Or you still want to ask? Hello? You should stay with us now.
Well, thank you very much for giving us listening ears. Meaning that the police is our friend. I can see that from everybody that is sitting here. If we are having this kind of crowd, police is our friend. Be free, please, to relate with us. We are your friends. We are not enemies, and we love you. You are all welcome.
I want to speak in terms of dispensation.
Carry on. Sure.
Alright. So we have our parents here who are, let's use age brackets above 30, and we have some of the youths who are between 20 and 30, and we have the teenagers who are between 15 and 30, depending on the jurisdiction and dispensation. What the DTO said was really powerful, sometime 2 weeks ago, I just connected my radio, and there was a crime that was being reported about a 27-year-old man who defiled a 9. So when they mentioned 9, I was saying, oh, a 9-year-old. Now, wow, that is so poor. But apparently, the 27-year-old man defiled a 9-month-old baby. It wasn't a mistake, and the journalist or the newscaster had to emphasize a 9-month-old baby. Now, what our principal here said is very powerful about how well, and I saw the attitude as well. It tapped some of the youth to stand up. Back then, we didn't need to be told that when you see elderly people, you just get to, it's just a sense of responsibility. So I realized that one of the advantages that we'll cover during the behavioral modification sessions is beyond we teaching you how to make money. That has shifted, and during the course, for some people here, they might have seen the movie, and most people might not have seen the movie, but during the course of the intervention between now and June, we'll see 1 or 2 movies and also scenes where the focus is not just about making money. If you have money without character, it is nothing. Another thing we would want to emphasize would be, so for those who are juveniles, does it mean that you have a license since you will not be sent to jail? No, it doesn't mean that you have a license to continue to carry out this crime. Because what will happen will be that policies change, and they might say because you are above 16, you will need to be sentenced to jail. Now, being sentenced to jail for 3 years or 5 years is not a challenge. But when you want to apply for international opportunities, one of the questions you'll be asked is, are you an ex-convict? Have you been jailed before? Have you been to jail? Have you been to prison? It reduces your social capital, meaning that, let me give an example, say a country like, say Canada, and you want to go to Canada, and there is a social capital even for some Asian countries where you have a score. So there's a grade between 1 to 100. If you're involved in any form of crime, it reduces your mark by a certain percentage, by 10, by 15. As much as you owing someone, you take a loan from a particular organization, from a bank, and you say you want to pay within 6 months, within 1 year, and you're not able to pay within that time, or you feel you can go scot-free, they won't chase after you. What happens is your social capital reduces. And when you're about to be recommended for a public office, or you're about to be recommended for a position that would make you an ambassador for either an organization or a country, you're not able to apply for it, or you're not applicable for that particular role because you have a low score in your social capital. Likewise here in Nigeria as well, everybody wants a better Nigeria, but truth is, it will eventually happen one day. It might take time, it might take sweat, it might take blood. Like the way we heard from the DTO, she didn't speak as a police officer, she spoke as a mother. So truthfully, you and I as youths, one day we will become fathers and mothers, or let me use the word, we will become parents. But what lesson are we going to teach to these seemingly children who are babies, or people who are between 0 to 10? Truthfully, they are looking up to us. Our parents have a lot that they are going through, but that would not exclude them from the roles that they need to pass across to their children. Now, gone are the days when parents will look at us and we can understand their facial expression without saying a word. Or when visitors come around and the visitor offers our children something, we don't even need to say much. All we just need to do is to wink at them, and the children will understand that is we, that we are now parents. We will understand what our parents are saying then. But now these days, when you look at some of these youths and you close your eyes, you pinch them, they will say, why are you pinching me? Why are you talking to me? Why are you looking at me that way? Oh yes. Oh yes. And it feels that it is modernization. No, it is not modernization. What is happening is that there's a lot of decadence in the society because of the character of our children. So because we are focused on the serious and organized crime doesn't mean that we will overlook this character and this upbringing. These days, and we will also address it, some of the crime that we need to address is even cheating in the exam hall. We need to address that. These days, most parents are aiding children not to read their books at night, and they know that they have an exam the next day and they are sleeping overnight. What confidence do they have to write the exam the next day? But if the children do not pass the exams, the parents will come to accuse the teachers of failing their children or not teaching them properly. Those are some of the things that we want to address. So let's stop putting all the blame on the government, all the blame on the traditional rulers, all the blame on the police force, all the blame on the society. Let's start sharing responsibilities. Parents, youths, police, traditional rulers, PCRC, we all share these responsibilities, even to me. So some of us who are above 25 and less than 35, and it feels like we want to make a lot of money and we don't want to have children yet. I'm also speaking to some of my colleagues and some of my friends out there who see some of these children out there. We see children who are in school uniform between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. Back then in the 80s and 90s, if we see children like that, we will call them and ask, why are you not in school? Mention the name of their school. Either take them to their school or follow them back home. But now we are all pressed for time. We want to take a bike to our next place of work or business. All of that will have to stop because truthfully, yes, you might not like us. I remember in 2009, I was about to write my third jam. I wrote jam 3 times. I was about to write my third jam, and before then, in 2008, I was sent on an errand. And what I was doing was I was just kicking a stone on the street. And one of the uncles then, he used to work at Unilever. He used to work on duty. He said, stop kicking the stone. And back then, even though I had a good upbringing, I looked at him with a facial expression that, who are you to talk to me? You're not my father, you're not my uncle. I kicked him one more time and he said, if you do that again, I'm going to beat you. Well, I knew that I could not face him, I could not fight him, so I stopped. But I did not like him. Eventually, because we were all in the same community, he got close to my father and he had a fish pond and he taught me the art of catfish rearing. For my third jam for that particular year, that I used to gain admission into school, I gained admission into Obafemi Awolowo University and I studied elect. And I realized that these days we are not proud to talk about the process that we go through. But it was this same uncle that paid for my jam that I used to gain admission into school. Doesn't mean that my parents were not willing to support, but he believed in me and he told my father that, oh, he would like to pay for my jam form. Not because my parents could not afford, but that was his own way of contributing to my own education. Now some of us will be here and we see how well we are productive in class. I have a conversation with principal and their plans. Many of us might not necessarily buy a hand washing machine or a sewing machine or an industrial machine for laundry. But what we can do is that if it is 10,000 naira that we can use to support in your school fees, in your education, in you learning that trade, we are willing to do that. But only if we are willing to see people who have the good character. If your character is not worthy of emulation, there's no way we will want to invest in you in the first place. There's no way we want to recommend you in the first place. Now, some of us, the police force, the PCRC, might not have money to give to us. But what they can give to us is they are placing their integrity on the line to say, oh, we have somewhere, maybe in another local government, where you can learn. Or we have people from other local governments that we can plead with, that they can volunteer to come to Ikorodu local government area to train you in some of the arts that can help you make your community a better place. Some of us as youths, we lie to our parents. And because our parents don't have time for background check, they believe everything we tell them. There's a book I read back then, Without a Silver Spoon. Some of us might have come across it. And there was a lie that one of his children would tell the parents there. He said we have to pay for religious kappa and we have to pay 50 kobo. Back then when it meant a lot. Now we don't hear all of these stories these days, but some of our parents can relate. But they are too busy to come back to tell us story. Back then in the 80s and 90s, there was no TV, there was no radio. So we either have to listen to Tales by Moonlight or stories of how our parents grew up. Now that doesn't have to be your case. Technology is there for you. You have your phones. Our parents might not have time. Everybody is pressing phone on WhatsApp. Everybody is pressing phone on Twitter. But we are telling you true and true, that indeed, in order for you to become responsible citizens, in order for you to take on this game of cricket, this game of whatever game it is, whether it's the sport of football, truthfully, this will make you better citizens. Truthfully, you need to know that you don't want to be an ex-convict that is playing cricket. And by the time we want to submit your name at the embassy will say that even though you can play cricket very well, but because you are an ex-convict or because you have a criminal record, you won't represent your country. Nobody wants that particular deal. Nobody wants to go through 3 years of training. But because you had a criminal record, then there is no way people can speak well of you. There's no way you can represent your country. Because what those embassies are doing is they are screening. They want to be sure that when you go outside of the country to play the tournament, that you will return back as a good citizen of your country and as a good representative of the motherland for which you are sent forth. So for the next 3 months, for the next 12 weeks, for the next 10 weeks, depending on the duration, we want to engage us as we play both cricket and engage us in the classroom conversations. All ends will be on there. we would write, back then when we want to have parents and teachers association, I don't know if it is really common these days, when we have PTA meetings, most parents might not have the time to show up. They get to send uncles, they get to send aunties. We want to bring that back on board when we have parents and teachers association. We are really encouraged by the number of parents that have come these days. But we want you to know that even we that we are the youths that seem to keep our hair and beds, it's not because it's entirely convenient for us, but it is truly said that it's only criminals that have their hair and beds or have the dreadlocks. But we're coming to say no, it's not just the criminals that have the hair and beds. Some of us are face models, some of us are good ambassadors of products and services. And because our children are keeping that doesn't entirely mean that they're entirely cultists or cybercrimes. So we will listen to both sides. They say you cannot make a judgment by hearing one-sided story. We will listen to both sides and with time see how well we can come to understand each other. It is a myth that teenagers are stubborn and they can't listen to parents and teachers and youth. It's a myth. All we know is that one way or the other, these teenagers are listening to some youth out there. If they can listen to those youth out there, meaning that they can still listen to parents, they can still listen to coaches, they can still listen to facilitators. And we are encouraging and ensuring that we want to put all hands on deck to ensure that these children indeed have a brighter future. When they have questions, we will give out our numbers. They can send us messages on WhatsApp. Sometimes they might not know how to face the military or the PCRC. Sometimes it might be that they need help and they don't know how to present this help. So we're encouraging the youth. When you have help, when you have concerns, approach us. If your parents have concerns, your parents can also walk up to us. And the truth is that we want everybody to have a brighter future. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for listening. Happy questions. You can meet us one-on-one after this particular session. Thank you very much.
How many of you have a tattoo on your body? How many of you have tattoo? Relating with the police for quite a while now, I've come to realize that the tattoo does not constitute any offense. But this tattoo is also what the cultists are also using to identify themselves. It is a code. How did I know? Some parents rushed to my house. Their son was arrested. And they told me that that son is an Okada rider. He dropped somebody at this gate. The police arrested him. How can an Okada man have that guts to drop passenger right in front of the station? They arrested him and the passenger brought all of them. It was the SARS people that arrested him. So when they came to my house to say SARS arrested their son and he's an Okada rider, I said, how can SARS arrested an Okada rider? Even banning on Okada has not got into this stage when this time that thing happened. I called one or two SARS people there. They said no, they don't have any Okada rider in their custody. I said okay, let's go there. When we got here, we went inside. I said, but most of them they know me. I said, but this man is an Okada rider. He was arrested about 1 hour ago. They say, Chairman, we don't have any Okada rider here. I said, they say, okay, what's the name of your son? The mother said, this is the name of my son. When they called him, the son answered inside the cell. When they brought the son out, he wore this armless singlet. From here, all his hands like this, tattoo. But inside this tattoo was the sign of Eye confrontality. And they told the mother that what is this? Here. That shows it belongs to Eye. If the SARS did not know the different signs of these cult groups, the Eye, the Aye, and all whatnot, how would they have identified that this sign here is for Eye? And the mother said he didn't know that he just saw that all his friends do that too. So he also went to do that too, not knowing that they have put the Eye sign on his arm. That's why I'm asking you. If any of you have a tattoo, you may not know that they have inscribed the sign of any of these cult groups in it. That is danger. What did I say? You may say, yes, you are working these footballers, these sports people, they have a lot of tattoo on themselves. Yes, there, they do it for fashion. But here, they use it for different purpose. This is why senior police officers are careful when they are arresting cultists. What they first of all look out for is if he has this AS sign or not. And if he doesn't have tattoo at all, it is easier for the police to determine. But what your children to do, don't do it in their presence. For a parent who has tattoo and is exhibiting it to the extent that the children too are seeing it, how will this parent caution the child when the child also go and do the tattoo? Charity begins at home. We will do the bit we can do. These children spend a lot of time with your parents. Be careful how you teach them. It's not by word of mouth, but your behavior, they emulate it and they go out to do it. Thank you. Coach Ingram, where is he? Coach.
Appreciate all those that came on Sunday for the celebration. Next section is the registration. So this is how we'll be doing it, because it's the players that will come in front, because the part for the parents are the orientation, which we all get. So the next part now is for the players who will be registered in playing for the mini-league. So we want the guidance or your anybody, we want you to be in front first. If your parent is here, come on the front line. If your parent is here,